Here they come.
Yeah.
Hello,
Hi.
hello. Welcome, friends. Love seeing all our return favorites and new people coming in for today's webinar. We got a special one today because we have a guest, which was fabulous because Jordan and I did a little less work than we normally do, and we have Abby with us. So we're super excited about this. I know the sign up for this was pretty high. You guys obviously like this topic, some SEO stuff, and we are really excited to have an expert who can guide us through this because we're all learning along with you. So that's awesome. As always, this is recorded. We will put the recording out on our support channel, typically within 24 hours of the presentation, and we'll be sending you guys a copy of it as well. Just a reminder, we're using Zoom webinar, so you're going to use that Q&A box. Recommend you pop that open on your screen. You can chat in questions, or not chat. Use the Q&A, put in questions. We will answer them either live or we'll type in answers, and you guys will be able to see all the answers that come in there. So make sure you're aware of that. Please ask questions. We love questions, and I think this is going to be one where we're going to have some questions. So welcome. All right. We're going to use our time well, so let's just roll through our deck.
All right. So again, thank you everybody for joining us. This is our March webinar with Abby James with Nonprofit Megaphone, and it's our strategies to boost your website's visibility. So on the webinar today is your usual friendly faces that you see, myself and Allison. We've got Chrissy on as well, and then Brian from our team, our account executive. And then we do have a special guest this month, which is Abby James. She is with Nonprofit Megaphone and is a Google Ads certified advisor, and a wealth of knowledge when it comes to SEO and your website. So we are so excited to have you on this month, and thank you again for joining us.
Yeah. And
Thank
we're
you.
not related, but we're friends.
Yes. All right.
Hey Brian, do you want to
Uh,
say a hello? I know you got to meet
Yep.
a bunch of our United Way friends at conference last week.
Yep. I was going to jump in and say hello. I see a couple names. If you were at Great Rivers, good to see you again. And then just, of course, the standard usual. If you're a current customer of ours, please refer a friend, send them over to us. If you're a new kind of potential customer, planning for fiscal year, April, June, July, please schedule a time with me. It's under the contact us on our homepage. But good to see everyone again from Great Rivers.
Okay, so this month we've got a quick agenda. We always start with a know our audience. So we're going to put a poll up here in just a second, and then we'll turn it over to Abby for a presentation. And at the end, we've got just a feedback poll, and then we'll wrap up. So it's pretty quick and easy agenda this month. So Allison, I'm going to have your help here, and let's get started with our first poll just to kind of gauge where everybody's at when it comes to SEO.
Yes. So this is our typical know your audience. It's just one question. This is when we see if you're paying attention. Take a look at your screen. It should be up there. You should be able to click one of those choices. So we want to know what your understanding or your challenges with SEO are. You understand it. You're doing good. You need back-end help, tracking, measuring, and you can click as many of them as you want. So if you click them all, we get you. Okay. So just take a moment, look at your screen. If you'd answer this one question, it will help Abby as she goes through her presentation know our audience. We've already told her how wonderful you all are, but she doesn't know your SEO knowledge. All right, I'm about to close it. Last chance. Click, click. Ready, set. Oh, oh, look, they listened to me. Here we go. I'm ending the poll. All right, lots of response on this. So thank you all. But we definitely know that you're wanting to understand it better and create optimized content. Abby's like the expert, so that's cool. We'll talk a bit about the back end and tracking and measuring. You want it all, so good to know. Thank you so much. And with that, I think we're going to be on to our friend Abby.
Yes, I'll go ahead and stop sharing, and Abby, I'll let you take it over.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for the introduction. Thank you for joining. I'm excited to do this presentation. I think we all will learn a lot here. I am not the end all be all, know all SEO. I think um, because it is changing so often, there is always something new to learn, something new to look into. So I think this will be a good introduction. It's going to give you um, some a good basics so you can talk intelligently about it, so that you can ask good questions about it. That's kind of my goal for today. So as they mentioned, please feel free to ask questions as we go through, and I guess we will jump right into it. So poll, I'm going to do a little bit of trivia as well. On average, sources say that there are blank searches on Google per second, which is about 99,000 to 105,000 searches every second on Google. So you can imagine how important it is that you know SEO and that you can be reaching, these people. And then of course you've got other search browsers, Bing and things like that, where you can also rank high on SEO, but you definitely want to keep that into consideration. So, what is search engine optimization, SEO? I always make the mistake. I always say SEO optimization, and then I'm like, oh, no, no. No, the O is in there already, but it is basically improving your website's quality both on the front end and the back end to show up in those search engine results. Like we said, Google, people are searching on there, by the millions and billions by the day. So by optimizing your content, the structure, and some technical aspects of the website, you can rank higher on on that platform like Google, and that makes it easier for people to find you. We work at Nonprofit Megaphone. We work exclusively with nonprofits, so I know that is the audience here as well. So this is a lot going to be for nonprofits. So why does SEO matter for you? Specifically, there's three things: increasing visibility, ensure that your mission reaches more people online. Whatever audience that is, whether that's those you serve in your community, whether it's you're looking for volunteers, you are searching for donations, people to support you, all of the above. We want, you to be found on those search engines. Attract your supporters, like I mentioned, donors, volunteers, advocates, people that are going to support your nonprofit. I talk with nonprofits all day, and I do know a lot of the time it's not necessarily the people they serve that they're necessarily looking for, but a lot of the time it is those, supporters and people that are going to rally with them, and just grow their supporter base. We also want to drive the mission impact, so engaging with the communities that you are involved in, with delivering valuable content and resources to those who need them. So whether that is information or directing them somewhere else where they can get help, getting them to call you for help. We want, again, basically people to find you. So how does that ranking work? Basically, there's an algorithm. Google's algorithm specifically is updating and learning all the time. Every single search that goes on, it is recalibrating and learning about who, what, when, where, why to show results. But it is about quarterly. They come out with what they call a core algorithm update, which if you look that up on Google, you will find that it often rocks the SEO world. Throws everything kind of for a loop. You've got to kind of learn where you rank, they don't ever tell you what changes they made with that algorithm. It's a lot of trial and error, figuring out, okay, I used to rank really high for this particular keyword, and now I'm not showing up at all. So doing additional keyword research, just really staying on top of that. So with that algorithm, they are going to be looking for relevance. Does your content match that search query? Certainly, Google wants to remain, a verb, go give it a goog. So they are going to want to make sure that the user experience is really good. So making sure that you have plenty of content so that you can show up when somebody is searching for you. Also, quality. Is your content readable? Is it valuable? Is it original? I know a lot of that is coming up with like AI content and recycling content, which is not it's not a bad thing, but definitely not taking a full AI piece and just copying and pasting. Definitely, making changes, making it in your own voice will help with that as well. And then here's that user experience that I mentioned. Mobile friendliness is a big one right now. If your website is not optimized for mobile devices, Google is not going to want to show or bring visitors to your website. So making sure that is optimized. Your page speed. There's a page speed insights. There's several different things on the website or on the internet that you can look up and run your website through to see if you pass like the speed test. And of course, accessibility. Um, Readability, see a question, evaluated by reading level or other factors. Um, Readability is more along the lines of is your text in an image? A lot of the times Google crawler cannot like read an image sometimes. If you've got drop down menus, that fold up and then you click and it expands. I think it's called like an accordion menu. Sometimes Google can't crawl and read those. So all of those kinds of things is going to be readability, not necessarily in terms of the actual content on it, but where it's placed on your website and how, I think is more of the readability. And then authority, just showing that you are who you say you are, that you are an authority in your space, having backlinks from reputable sites, signal trustworthiness. Authority is often hard to get, but the more website visitors you get, the more authority Google's algorithm will kind of assume that you have. So that's another good way is just, it kind of feeds into itself. The more website visitors you get, the more Google thinks that you have a great website, and it will show your website and you will come up on those search results pages a lot more. I also always suggest also um, putting specifying on your website that you are a nonprofit, putting your EIN in the footer, reminding people that you are a nonprofit. That does often create more trustworthiness for people as well. So make it known on your website that you're a nonprofit is a good idea as well. Oh, and I forgot to mention this slide deck will be available. So don't feel like you have to write everything down. You will have access to all of this after we finish up here. So just wanted to show an example of what that looks like. I'm sure all of you have gone on to Google or Bing or something and done a search and came up with your search results. I did mine, and when Google decided to show me these results, so I just did a search for healthcare nonprofit organizations. Now, Google is going to take into consideration everything it knows about me. I did not do this search in an incognito browser. I was in my, Google account. So whatever Google knows about me is also what is going to determine what results they show me. So that is part of the equation as well. So making sure that you are targeting the right audience is also very important when you're talking about like search engine optimization and showing up on search results page. So just wanted to kind of give an example of, what might be showing up for somebody. Every search is going to be different. Yep. Backlink is where you link to another article that you cite, or actually, even better, having another site backlink to you with your information. So having good content will get other websites to cite you kind of as a source. And then, yeah, private browser is when you go into incognito mode and you are not logged into anything. Those will change results for searches as well. Okay, so talking about in terms of, like I mentioned, there's like what I consider like front end SEO, which is going to be your content, what somebody is actually reading. And then the back end SEO is more of the work that you're going to do on your website. So I'm going to touch on both of them, but first of all, let's talk about some SEO-friendly content. What does this look like? What does this mean? First of all, keyword research. You're going to want to identify terms that your audience is actively searching for. This changes, right, with seasonality, trends, things that might be happening in the news. So staying on top of those kinds of trends is really important. Using a tool like Google Keyword Planner is a great option. There's also a couple options that I'll mention later on, like Answer the Public, and even just using Google Trends is valuable to figure out what are the keywords that people are searching for, that when they are brought to your website, you can answer that for them. Using a mix of those high traffic keywords, niche long tail keywords to reach the right audience. So not just a general donate keyword that is going to be super competitive, not relevant enough, not clear enough to Google. So donate to nonprofits near me, donate to a nonprofit in X county, help support nonprofit. Like longer keywords are going to be your better option in terms of getting high on search results pages versus, yeah, just kind of general broad topic keywords. High quality content. So the content, kind of like we've mentioned before, valuable, relevant, and original, keeping users engaged. So focus on your broad topics. So a good example of this would be, I'll actually actually, I have a few examples of this, but for this one, I'll use us, Nonprofit Megaphone. We do Google Ad Grants for nonprofits. But our blog, we don't just write about our services or about the Google Ad Grant. We write about how to form nonprofits, how nonprofits need to fill out tax forms, building a board for nonprofits, like broad topics like that will drive a lot of traffic and will rank high in search results. Answering common questions and providing insights. So again, if somebody searches for how to start a nonprofit, they could potentially be driven to our website because we provide information and articles on that, on how to start a nonprofit. So kind of thinking outside the box a little bit on what is your mission and what topics are like mission adjacent that you could write about and provide content about. And then, of course, keeping that content fresh and updated. Every time you change a landing page, it forces Google to crawl and index that page again, which helps pull information from that page. So Google will know more about you, about what is located on that page. And again, it can show your pages more because it has more information. So making changes to your content and your pages is also valuable for SEO. Now talking a little bit about the back end of the website, fine-tuning the individual pages for search engines and users, specifically title tags and meta descriptions. You're going to find those on, the back end of your website. Not everybody's going to see some of those things, but having that match what is actually on the page is super valuable. Again, the more information you can give Google about what you are writing about, what you're offering, what you're saying on that landing page, the better. Your headers, H1, H2, H3, structure the content again for that readability. Don't hide your content, don't mask it, don't get it on your page so that Google can crawl it.
Abby?
Yes.
So I have a question on the headings because this is a conversation I have with our customers a lot. And we
Okay.
we talk about heading 1, heading 2, heading 3 all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They're designed by brand and sometimes they're different colors. And I find sometimes people might lean into like heading 3 because they like that color instead of using heading 2 or something. I've always been of the understanding that it isn't, the importance of it is heading 1's the page title and everyone has that. But you should really always have heading 2 on every page and not like, don't skip heading 2, right?
Definitely. Yep. 1, 2, and 3 should always be done. Yeah.
Okay. So if anyone doesn't like their colors, just know that we can adjust that. Don't pick the color based on the color. Make sure you're using heading 2. And if you need that changed, talk to your account manager. Thank you.
Perfect. Yep. Yep, definitely. Great question. And then your keyword placement, naturally integrating the keywords into your content and into your site, overstuffing. So just sticking it in everywhere and anywhere. Google is a little bit smarter than that, and it will see what you're trying to do, and it will actually kind of penalize you almost for doing that. It's not going to like that. So make sure that when you are using those long tail keywords, it is purposeful and it makes sense where it goes. A lot of the times it can feel really repetitive also to use those same keywords over and over again. Don't be too concerned with that. It does make it a little bit more reader friendly. I know a lot of writers want to, pull out that thesaurus and and find different words for what they're using. But when you're talking about SEO and utilizing keywords, it is actually okay to use those same words over and over. Just again, don't force it in the content. And then again, talking about user experience, that mobile optimization, the page speed, the design of the website. I would also, a lot of people think maybe like the fancier the website, the better. So they have a lot of, images that flip and do all sorts of fun things. You don't necessarily need any of that for SEO. That could actually sometimes hurt it a little bit. So just clear menus, good links, make it make sense, bring that person through the user journey on your website. And we'll talk a little bit more about how that looks as well. So now with that information, if you think about your organization, how well do you think your website content is optimized? Um, and kind of while you're thinking about that, I did want to show an example. TrustBridge Global has a tough mission. So they provide DAFs, donor advised funds, and basically, their goal is to attract people who want to open up donor advised funds. Definitely hard to bring in that traffic because if you can imagine, not a whole lot of people are searching specifically for, how do I open a donor advised fund? So, what they do with their content is really smart. They again write mission adjacent articles. So we're going to talk about, generosity, the benefits of generosity, philanthropic giving, um, the power of international fundraising, top global causes to support. So if somebody is, um, global nonprofits, like you could use that keyword and direct traffic there. Um, Ways to maximize your international charitable giving, why give internationally? And then I think this one is really cool too. How to make your travels charitable. So again, you can see not everything is about what is a DAF. They certainly have that. How does it work? Features and benefits. They have that, but they also have some content that is more keyword focused to drive traffic and show up on search results page. So again, kind of think of that when you're thinking of your own organization.
Hey, Abby, I'm sorry, I'm an interrupter.
No, you're good. You're
So
good.
one of the things that I think I commonly have a conversation with our customers about is that they find themselves with two different focus areas. One is the donor focus areas, driving donors, and the other is the getting information out to people who need their services. And like how to split that time and how to make that work for them. And I don't know that there's an answer to that, but sometimes your focus area is kind of multifaceted.
Definitely. And yes, especially for nonprofits, like we said, like they need to attract people who need their services, but then also people who are going to support their services, right? They need both. So yes, they need to be thinking about that audience and what content is going to be valuable for each audience. You're right. So, for example, those that want to support you, you know, things like, the value of charitable giving, why it's important to support nonprofits in my community. Um, yeah, taught, yeah. So they're going to want to do both. And then, of course, the resources and that for the people who need their services. Yep. 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 They've got their work cut out for them for sure in on that front. Yep. Good point. All right, so again, kind of what's on the page, like we talked about, like relevant, the stronger the connection between the listing and your landing page, the better your chances also for a conversion. So a lot of thinking about not just getting people to your website, but also what are they going to do once they get there? Um, Better chances of some sort of a conversion when somebody searches for something and they are given the answer. So again, making sure that the information that they're looking for is at the top of the page, right? You don't want to make somebody scroll through. Landing page, same as a basic page. Yes. Yep. Any page on your website. Yep. So yeah, put the information at the top of the page. Don't make them scroll through. So yes, if you need a page for every service that you provide, do that. And then use that search engine optimization to bring somebody who's specifically searching for maybe help with their utility bill or something, you know, that they are searching for that, that they are brought to a page that is going to tell them resources for doing that. They don't want to be brought to a page that's going to talk about how to get help with their housing, right? So you want to make sure that whatever they are searching for, they are brought to a page that's going to answer that question. Again, we're all just trying to make Google happy, kind of. Um, and Google will be happy when your website visitors are happy. So if they are brought to a page that doesn't automatically answer their question, what are they going to do? They're going to bounce. Google's going to know that a lot of people are bouncing, and oddly enough, your search engine optimization, your ranking on Google will fall. So that is very important. Um, Yep. Using copy link to highlight is a way to do that as well. If you do have a longer landing page and you've got some information further down the bottom, you know, directing people with that in like an ad or a Facebook or your social media or something can also can be beneficial. But that is not going to be great for necessarily the SEO. Um, this is just like a kind of like a cheat sheet. Again, you'll have access to this. It's kind of just a good thing to think about when you're thinking about your website. Um, in terms of what Google is going to see and what it is going to be kind of looking for and crawling for, definitely at least 10 pages. I know recently, maybe not even recently. I know a lot of like what people are calling splash pages, where it's just one page and it's really, really, really long, has become kind of popular. Um, Again, that's not always best for search engine optimization. Might be great to bring people to through an ad or once they're on their website, then bringing them to some sort of a splash page. But definitely Google and other search platforms are not going, they don't optimize them the best. There's like too much there. Google's going to say there's a lot here. I don't know who this is for, when it's for. So definitely, again, making sure each page focuses on a single primary topic so that Google or Bing, Microsoft knows what that page is will make it just so much easier for Google to send traffic your way. Again, use some keyword tools, make sure people are searching for that topic. You might have a ton of content on your topic, but nobody's searching for it. A good example of this, and I know this is maybe going to hurt some people here, but information about like your new board members or something. Nobody is searching for, you know, who are the new board members at a nonprofit near me. That information is great for people who are already familiar with your organization. they might want to know that, right? But they already know your organization. They're probably not going to be searching for you. They are going to type in your URL. So again, it's almost like I look at it as like internal content and external content. I think there's a difference between those two. Um, yes, happily, happily. I know. Um, or those things are good for a newsletter too, right? Along with calls to actions, along with um, what do you want them to do? It's weird. Here's, the next thing is a call to action. I know this might sound weird, but people do like to be told what to do next. You go to a landing page and you're like, okay, great, now what? Give them something to do. Tell them what you want them to do next. Do you want them to read another article? Do you want them to check out your social media pages? Do you want them to sign up for your newsletter? Like, tell them what you want them to do next. They're more likely to do it. And of course, 300 words on the page is a pretty safe bet. Um, More than that, of course, but anything less than that doesn't necessarily give Google a lot to crawl. Yep. Putting board members on our page actually opens us up to fraud. Oh, interesting. Oh, very interesting. Yeah. 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 Might be something more for a newsletter. And then again, the promotable content, which I think we've kind of gone over. I just kind of like this slide because I think it puts everything out there really, really clearly, gives you something to think about and to kind of check mark as you go through thinking about your content and thinking about your SEO on your website. And then there's a couple links to Google Trends is wonderful for looking up keywords. And also Answer the Public is really fun as well. I highly suggest those two to go on. And you can just put in a keyword and it'll tell you, are people looking for this? And if not, Answer the Public actually will give you some suggestions as to what people are searching for. And you can write your content basically on what you find on those websites. 300 words. Do words in the components count or only at the top body? All of it, I
Right.
think.
So she's specifically talking about our Drupal platform, which has a body block at top, and then you add the different components below. So the components, it counts it all, right?
Yeah, yep, definitely. Yep. Okay, just another time to kind of think about your website, your organization, your mission. Do you think you have the kind of content on your website, that kind of fits this bill? For an animal rescue organization, of course, they're going to have, their animals for adoption and using, animals to adopt near me, cats to adopt, dogs to adopt in X and X county. But what about the importance of microchipping? Somebody searching for microchipping that would come across your website that could then say, hey, what is this organization? What do they do? Oh, neat. You stay top of mind. You get somebody new. Maybe they sign up for your newsletter. Maybe they go to your shelter. Articles about trap and release, just basic information, even about what is a cat colony. Some good things to think about for your organization. What are those topics that you could write about that would help you in your search results? One other thing I wanted to mention that I didn't. A lot of the search results, I'm sure you all have seen now the AI that Google has, right? They answer questions. There's like a big section of AI at the top of search results page now. So having answers like this, especially now that Google is trying to pull that information from different websites and trying to answer these questions so people don't even have to go to a website. Um, I think having stuff like this is going to be even more and more important as Google starts using those AI on search results page more as well. And now I'm just going to briefly get into kind of how, now that people are on your website, how do you turn them into supporters? Because I think at the end of the day, that's kind of a lot of what nonprofits need. So again, creating awareness. How are they going to find you? Are you using ads? Are you mainly relying on SEO, which is totally fine? I know a lot of nonprofits that their SEO is fantastic and that's all they need. How are you going to get people aware? They can't support you if they are not aware of you. I talk to it again, a ton of nonprofits all the time. And I spoke with somebody just the other day and they were like, we've been in this community for 42 years now, and I still get people who say they have no idea, they had no idea we were here. So just awareness is so vitally important. Keeping their interest then. How are you going to keep their interest? What relevant content do you have? What are those CTAs? How are you going to bring them through that user journey to become a supporter? Engagement, what do you want them to do? A big ask, like at the bottom of the marketing funnel, like a donation or something, is often a bigger ask than somebody can take in the beginning. So start them off with maybe smaller asks. Have them sign up for your newsletter, have them follow you on social media, get them engaged with you on some level, and once you can continue that conversation with them, you're golden. Again, some information about calls to action, join our mailing list, get involved, donate, become an ambassador, join the fight, even just give us a call. Think about what your calls to actions are. Conversions. So here we go into tracking. What are people doing once they get to your website? I don't know how many times I hear that people don't know. They're like, I don't know. So definitely set up some conversion tracking. That will inform a lot of what you do, to know what kind of audience are we getting? Are we getting people who are going to support us? And if not, what changes do we need to make to start getting them? And then, of course, once they trust you, once they've, had a couple interactions with you, once you've nurtured them a little bit, then as we all know, they become advocates. And that's really where we want to eventually get people. And then quickly, just some stats and some information, some success stories. This specifically, these two are for content, the actual written content that people see on the page. We had a youth development organization who now drives over 80% of their Google ad grant clicks from the content. So we wrote, like we said, mission adjacent content, and now 80% of their clicks from ads are coming in from that content. So totally changed the organization, greatly increased their audience, just through writing different content. We worked with a Boys and Girls Club who nearly doubled their Google ad traffic by posting mission adjacent content, that brought in a whole new set of audience, right? Because they had only been focusing on, getting kids into the program. Well, we started writing about why is that important, supplementing that with school programs, and it doubled their Google ad grant traffic just with the content that was on their website. So very, very valuable. And then in terms of like the back end, so that website SEO, the headers, the tags, the meta descriptions, the slugs, all of that important stuff as well. ICLEI, one of our clients at Nonprofit Megaphone, we did some website SEO work for them, and their organic traffic went through the roof. 42% increase in their click-through rates, 47.5% increase in their conversions. So almost 50% increase in people doing things like newsletter subscribers, membership applications, form submissions, downloading PDFs. Saw 27% increase in clicks. And again, this is all on their organic traffic. And a 47% increase in impressions. So SEO can make a world of difference if you're doing it right, even if I think you're putting some effort into it, right? None of us are always going to get it right all the time. Like I said, it's changing drastically every day. Again, every search, it's changing, but definitely putting some thought and some energy into it is you are going to see results. I give some practical steps to get started. First of all, conduct an audit. What do you think? How are things looking now? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Look at your existing pages. Do they have keywords? What are your blog posts? What are you posting about? Is it valuable? Are people searching for it? Just do an overall audit first to kind of see where you're at right now. And then looking for gaps and opportunities, like we said, like do the keyword research. What are some keywords we're missing? What are some audiences that we're missing because we don't have the content for them? Looking for trends, seasonality, awareness months, right? Do you have content up and are you utilizing keywords for awareness months? Look for different opportunities that you might have available in those areas. Doing a content calendar and align it with your SEO goals. I know your goals will change. Sometimes you will need more people who need your services. Maybe at the end of the year, of course, Giving Tuesday, end of year fundraising, your goals might change and you might want to focus more on the Giving Tuesday and the donating keywords. So keeping up with those and making changes as necessary. And then, of course, tracking it, learning what is working, what's not working, do the conversion tracking, run an audit, 3 months in, see where you're at that point. Look at keyword rankings, look at what your competitors are doing. What are they ranking for? And can you kind of sneak in there and offer better content that you could also show up high on search results page? Do some Google searches and see what comes up, what is working for other people. Just continually update it and work on it based on what you see. And then, yep, just continue to work on it. Like I said, it's changing all the time. It does require kind of constant work, but don't give up. I think there's a lot of success out there. I think there's a lot of things you can do to help. And again, just bring visitors, bring supporters, get your name out there, and definitely show up high on search results pages and start building your supporter base. So
Hey,
I
Abby,
know
I have a question.
yeah.
Just curious if you have seen any work related to the word donate versus give versus contribute. Has that been something you've come across in your nonprofit work?
Yes, and we will use all of them, right? All of the above. It's interesting. I think different geographic areas tend to use different words. I mean, I use nonprofit all the time. I know a lot of people use charity or charitable organizations or NPOs so same kind of thing. It's almost like regional. So I would use all of the above. And even do some A/B testing. Do a page that uses donate, and then, maybe have another page that uses charitable giving. See which one works better. I would think what works better is maybe what resulted in more conversions, more donations, but you could also look which one is ranking higher on our search results. But yeah, I would suggest using them all, using them
That's a
all.
great idea. I like having the comparison, like test it out. Like
Yeah,
see
yeah,
see what drives more traffic, which is more successful. So that's good advice. Thank you.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. I know that was a lot of information. It went a little bit longer. I could talk about this all day, but yeah, open it up for questions at this point if anybody has anything.
Do you see
Oh,
JD's question there? Yeah, go for it.
yeah. Getting approved for the Google Ad Grant. Easier way to understand what we're doing wrong. If they haven't replied and given you some sort of an idea, I would check the website. Like I said, the page speed, make sure it's crawlable in every country. A lot of who is looking to approve your website, a lot of them are overseas. So if they can't see your website, they can't get it approved, which is interesting. We've run into some people who they didn't even know that their website was not showing in certain countries. And once they fixed that. So, but yeah, definitely do some work on your website, and make
JD,
sure.
we need to launch your new site. That's going to help.
Oh, yeah,
He's
yeah,
we have a lot
okay,
of customers who are in process of launching brand new sites.
yeah,
You think in that specific customer's case, that's gonna help. But anyway,
yeah,
just so you
yeah.
know. You have a
Yeah.
few more questions popping in here. Look at this. Go for it, Ab.
Yeah. Um, Very small team, I know. Yeah, nonprofits. What top three things to tackle? Figuring out what are people searching for and writing the content, and then doing the back end, the meta descriptions, H1 tags. I would say those two in conjunction, making sure you have highly searched content, and then making sure the back end of your website is search engine optimized would be those two you should tackle for sure. Would Google pick up on similar words to what people are searching for? Charity versus charitable. Yes, it should. It should. Um, yep, I'm going to say yes. Google will know charity is charitable giving, is a charitable organization. Yeah, you should be fine there. Where it would be different is charitable versus donation versus that. But yeah, yep, should know. How do we test our site for these visibility things? Good question. There are things online that will do like a quick audit for free. Um, that might be a good way to go. We, Nonprofit Megaphone, we offer some SEO audits for free. You're welcome to reach out and I can have our team run an audit. Um, but there are free audits out there. I don't know how often they would let you do it for free. I don't think they'd let you. I think they'd know if you tried to do it too many times in a row. But if you're just checking like quarterly, I think you should be able to get away with something like that, as well as your analytics, looking at where your traffic is coming from, how long are they staying, what keywords did they use to find you? You know, if you're trying to run a certain keyword and nobody is coming into your website with that keyword, maybe it's not a high searched keyword, or maybe you are not actually optimized for it and you should look into that again. So I hope that helps. Yeah.
There's a couple people that chimed in earlier that had a question about what backlinking is. So could you just briefly kind of like define that a little bit?
Yeah, yeah, that is found a lot when you are using or being used as a source in an article. So if I have some sort of statistic on my website, maybe about like that Google, how many Google searches are done every second, if I have that on my website, it might be that another website wants to use me as that source and will backlink to me with that information. So having stats and data is also really good for your website so that people cite you as a source versus you always citing other people, right? So you want people to use your information with theirs. Does that make sense?
Yep. So all of you go and reach out to your local newspapers, have them write articles on you that link to your site.
Yep. Yep. I know people used to do it a lot more, but they like link exchanges is a big thing. Like, hey, you link to me, I'll link to you. I don't know if Google's gotten smart enough to realize I don't think that's as lucrative as it used to be. Um, so I don't know if I would necessarily suggest that. But again, just having really good content on your website will sort of naturally bring people to want to cite you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And another example that applies to a good chunk of our customers, the United Way market, a lot of you require your agencies to put like your logo or something on their website, but make sure they're linking that logo to your site. Don't
Yeah.
just place the logo, but actually link the logo or have the words written somewhere that says we're supported by United Way and link it to your website. That's going to drive your traffic.
Yep. Yep. That'll be a backlink. Yep. Great point.
Okay, Jordan.
All right, I am gonna take over screen again. I just quickly wanted to
Quick.
point out, we talked a lot about headings and meta tags and keywords. So I just wanted to quickly show where those are on the back end of your pages. If you guys are ready to go check out your sites and take everything that Abby just shared and kind of put it to use. So this is just the back end of a basic page. As a reminder, in the body area, you have all of those headings. They should be pre-built in there. They are color coordinated, but we can change this. If you do not like red as that heading to, let us know and we can change that color. On the sidebar area of your pages, you should see, and if you do not see this, please let us know, a meta tags option. And this is where you can go in and edit the description of the page title. It pulls a default over, and so the site will kind of decide what that summary is, but you do not have to keep that summary. You can edit that, you can take it out and put your own description in, as well as the page title. This is just uh, the node title, so the title field up here, it's going to pull this, and then your site's name is what it's defaulting to. So there's a ton of settings within the meta tags area that you can dive deeper into. It scrolls for quite a while. But the other area that I like to point out is just the real-time SEO analyzer that we have here. You can also put your keywords in here, and then you can edit that snippet that's going to show up on Google. So all good places that you can start to take some of the recommendations that Abby gave and put into place on your site. And then if you don't have it, everyone should have that headings page. Again, this is going to show you what all of the headings are set to on your site. So if you want to rearrange these colors, let us know. By default, all of the heading ones is your page titles too. So by having the page, you should have that H1 on every page already. All right, let's jump back to our slide deck. We've got one more wrap-up poll that I'll have Allison help us launch.
There we go. Now we see if you're paying attention. Take a look at your screen, and if you would, we just want to know how this went for you today. How are you feeling about SEO right now? You feel like you got some plan, or where are you at? And obviously, Nonprofit Megaphone is a organization that can work with you if that is something that you're like, would like that extra level of help. Abby and her team are great. She did this graciously. She's like, you don't even need to promote me. But I'm like, well, I'm going to mention you because you're fabulous. And if we have customers who would like this service, you definitely should take a look at them. And we're having her back again later, aren't we, Jordan?
I think so. Yeah, this one, we're hoping to get one more focused on the Google Ad Grants program, which I know a lot of our customers utilize, or if you've been thinking about wanting to use it, we'll have a webinar that kind of dives into that a little more.
All right, I'm going to close the poll. Ready, set, ending. Oh, this is so cool. 93% of you feel like you got a better understanding and you're ready to take some steps. Some of you, like, they love the information, but you still got a place to go. So that's awesome. No one said they were confused. Oh, I didn't share it yet. Now you can see what I'm reading. 93% of you said, I understand it. So thank you so much for that feedback. And there you go. That's it.
Perfect. Okay, and then just moving on to just our closing slides. Again, all of our resources, we have a newsletter that we try to send out just a couple times a year. So if you're not signed up for that, this is the link. And then we also have a blog where you will find all kinds of blog articles written about what we do and mission adjacent things as well. So that's always a good one to check out. And then just wrapping up, as a reminder, all of our webinars are recorded, and we will send the link to the recording out about 24 hours after we end. So tomorrow you should have this link. We'll also include a link to the slide deck that Abby shared with us, so you can take that information as well. If you have any questions, if you're missing that meta tag area within your website and you need to reach out to our support team, they are always there 24/7. We've got all of our links for our account managers. So if you have more follow-up questions or you want to meet with our team to talk about putting some of these practices in place on your site, please book a meeting. And then our webinar schedule for kind of the next 3 months. Next month, we are going to do some spring cleaning theme, how to clean up your site if you've got old content. In May, we're diving into some campaign prep. And then we've got another guest speaker coming in June to talk all about Amazon business accounts. So we're excited for that one as well. And that's it. We went just a hair over, but we appreciate all of you for joining. We love having you guys on every month. Abby, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time and all the knowledge that you were able to share with us today.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. All right. Take care.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye.